just that as it comes. I'd like to thank everybody for attending the webinar. My name is Colleen Staunton. I am a product manager here at Onboard Informatics. I deal with a number of our products from bulk data to hosted applications to APIs. So any questions or issues, I should have a good background in answering. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. There's a question box at the bottom of your screen. If anything comes up, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please just type them in and we'll get to them at the end of the webinar. If you have any questions afterwards and you would like to reach out to us, please feel free to do so. You can reach out to support at Onboard Informatics. If you have any questions or just wanted to talk, that's fine. So I'm going to get started. Little background on Onboard. Obviously, we're a real estate data technology company, and one of our products is Lifestyle Search. And we just wanted to talk a little bit today about what really goes into it. We hear a lot about lifestyle in the industry, how it can be used, do people use it. So we really just wanted to kind of talk about what we think it is and give you some examples of what's going on, with the application, how it can be implemented, things like that. So I think, we hear about lifestyle search today, and, people want to search. They want to have all that ancillary information. They want to know what's going on in neighborhoods, in the local areas. And so when they're searching for a home, especially home buyers, but I think it's relevant to sellers or, people that are, just continually looking even though they've just bought, it's good to know this information. So, when they're looking for a home, and I know I went through this process as well, you reach out to a real estate agent, right? Or even just go to a website. Well, first I'll talk about the conversations. When you talk to a real estate agent, they absolutely ask all the right questions. They need to know, where do you want to live, where do you work, what type of commute are you willing to endure. Some people might be willing to endure up to an hour-and-a-half commute. Others might only want a 20-minute commute. So that can kind of all frame your reference around where they might be able to show you listings in what towns and neighborhoods. But other things that are just as important, such as, how are the schools in the area, not just is this house near a school, but is the school well performing? Because they might be looking for specific programs for their children, especially important. So school performance is especially important for those with school-age children or those that might have children attending school in the next few years. So again, all those questions are asked. It's going on. It's been going on for years. But if as a home buyer I go to a site, I'm not going to find those type of questions, and I might not even find that type of information. And we know how nowadays people are going to the internet first. They want to go to the internet and do their search, find areas, find listings, and then reach out to an agent. So I think it's important that you need to capture that information up front, allow the user to search that way. It's kind of, word of mouth. You want your site to be the most relevant. So having that information on your site is important. But here's just a sample website that we took, and you can see that it's your pretty basic parameter search. What type of home are you looking for, your beds, your bath, or things like that. So again, if I want to choose, I need to live within 20 minutes of my work, or I need to have A+ performing schools, I can't search for that right away. I might be able to find it after, but again, it's kind of a disjointed search experience. So we're here. We're getting in the growth phase of this kind of lifestyle search where people are looking for that in not just conversation anymore, but also on the internet. So it's as old as we can imagine. It's just new to the internet. It's picking up. There's all different types of lifestyle search that we've seen. And as we get into talking about the lifestyle search, we talk about typically what characteristics are buyers compromising on, and I think it's a very important question because, when you're looking, you might say, well, an extra bed or an extra bath is going to, cost me X number of dollars, but, as we see from the NAR profile, I will compromise on the price or the size of a home to live in that quality neighborhood, to live in a neighborhood where there's, people that have similar interests, or that's near parks, that has a lot of points of interest in it, or that neighborhood that has, my children are going to attend those quality schools. So I'm going to pay a little more for a house to live in those areas. It's common, it's happening every day with home buyers. So I think agents and brokers should be aware of that trend and make sure they're addressing it in their business strategy as well. And I know we like to talk about how, on board we think lifestyle is great, but I think if you look out into the market, and you'll find not just real estate, it's definitely predominantly real estate brokers, but you'll find media companies, a wide range that, see the relevance in lifestyle. So, I think, especially you see here, we need to be relevant. Companies want to make sure that they're providing the most recent tools on their site, because there's such a fight for eyes among home buyers. And if your site's not going to be up to par, you're going to quickly lose some of that traffic, which ultimately builds into leads and sales, and again, helps the bottom line. So, here again, the lifestyle is extremely important outside of just what the price of a home and what the beds and baths are. But, you talk about this is especially relevant in urban areas or even in large metro areas, places with suburbs, things like that. People want to search on, it's kind of that hyper-local search context where I want to find the neighborhoods that are right for me. In certain areas you're not going to say, well, I'm from, you might say you're from 90210, but you might also say, I'm from Soho, or I want to live in Tribeca. So, that's always very important as well. So here, I just want to give some background on our lifestyle search engine. You can see on the right hand of the screen are a number of publications that have used this type of concept in their editorial pieces. And the purpose of these editorial pieces has been to draw traffic to their site, engage people in conversation, and they've actually done an excellent job of doing that. And how we've worked with these publications is, coming up with story ideas, best places to raise your kids, best suburbs across the country, all things like that. What are the best, areas for schools? And as we've worked with these clients over the years, we've kind of developed criteria and found what we've seen home buyers want to hear about, see about, read about. And so that's where the idea of our lifestyle search engine is. Well, that's great. These stories are extremely popular, but how can we bring that to the real estate space? And there was really the idea behind our lifestyle search engine, that let's make a search where brokers can implement this, agents can implement this on their site, and you can easily allow these people to search for their best place, because maybe what Business Week says is the best place to raise your kid might not be the same. It may be the suburbs are too expensive. It's not near a certain points of interest. So there's all different criteria. So if you allow that search, it's great for your website. And it's, as I mentioned, some of the data that goes into the back end of the application has been developed over years. We have a data team who works exclusively on these data points, and they've done a great job of really developing the algorithm for a number of these attributes. And I think you'll notice, too, there's not really much out there like it now. You will see, there's some lifestyle type sites. We talk about a walk score. We talk about some of these other type sites, but they're really focused on one area. So walk score, it's kind of where about walkability as opposed to, the whole broader picture that consumers want to look at. So, I'm going to talk, there are some technical terms here, but our lifestyle search engine API, really it's a customizable application that you can you can put up on your site, and it allows a consumer to find their best place to live. And basically how it works is, I will say, I need to live, it's very important that I live in a golf-friendly area. It's very important that I live near excellent schools, or it's very important that I be family-friendly or fun, hip, and trendy. So, I kind of narrow my search down that way. I choose, kind of that container geography. So I want to live in Nassau County, and it'll suggest a number of areas. And the great thing about that is, you're suggesting areas. You're not saying here's a listing that you need, but you're allowing the consumer to then drill down deeper to do more research. But also it's a great call of action to agents. So, hey, I just saw on your site that Great Neck is, according to the criteria that I entered, is a great place to live. Could you tell me a little bit more about it? So, the consumer's already done that up front. You've saved some time on the agent side as well. So, I think that there's a lot that can be done. It's being an application, you can show a number of different results. You can show area boundaries so people can get a frame of reference of where these areas are. And so I'm talking about lifestyle, but how exactly do we define lifestyle? And, there really is no one right answer. Everybody has a different lifestyle or different preferences. And, I think that's why you'll see here is a full list of things that we've deemed relevant through feedback from the market, from brokers, from agents, from home buyers on what needs to be in a search experience. So you can see some of the sample criteria that we have. And, some of this is data that's out there. It's already out there. People can find it on the internet. They can go out and search, but we're kind of making it available in a centralized location. And the reason why we created our own, like our own family-friendly, our own pet-friendly, our own commute time, all of that is, there's other lifestyle segments that you might hear from other, but they're kind of more geared toward a marketing segmentation. So some of the things that go into them aren't necessarily the same things that would go into somebody that's searching for a home. So, here's just a sample. There's actually over 40 of them available through the API to search on. And again, it allows you, you might be in a small market and you just want to have one or two up, but you just want to be able to provide that information as well to your consumers, your clients, potential prospects that are coming to your site. So I talk about this in the sense that there's a lot of ways to implement. There's some applications out there where you can go and you can get an application and put it up on your site, and it'll probably be valuable, but it's going to be the same as a lot of other people that are going to have. The great thing about our application is it's very customizable. You have the ability to really create a number of different user experiences on your website. And that might mean you can create a search up front where you allow somebody to find their best place. But I think this is extremely important aspect to it and thing that you can do is creating these kind of lifestyle landing pages. So we talk a lot now about the hyperlocal concept. And this gives to, a lot of agents and brokers have blogs and they want to highlight, they want new content, they want to attract eyes to their site. And, using the lifestyle search is a great way to do this. You can create news stories once a month, best places to retire within your county, or best places to raise a family within a state. Things like that where you're able to utilize new content and access from the API. The other very important aspect of it is it's not just kind of this fun tool where, okay, I'm going to show somebody where the best places for them to live are, but ultimately it's important that you drive listings, the listing search off of your lifestyle results. So I'm looking into a couple different towns or neighborhoods, but then I want to search for listings within it. So it's very easy to tie, listing search when you get a result. Let's say, again, maybe it's Scarsdale, New York. You could have a little write-up on Scarsdale, but then you can show listings right within that result, assuming you have listings on your site. They tie in very easy together. I will point out that the lifestyle application itself does not return listings, but it's very easy to tie that into your existing listings search experience. Displaying results on a map. Again, map search is very important. A lot of people are doing that now. So just another idea as well. But I think another important thing that we really can't emphasize enough is the fact that you can get insight about leads. It's very important to see who's coming to my site, what are they searching, are they staying there, or are they reaching out to an agent? And some of this information will allow you to gather some of that lead information as well. And then also providing detailed community profile pages. So, yes, you can return that, Great Neck might be the #1 choice, or, whatever 1 through 10 are, but then providing additional information such as, okay, so what's the average age, income, employment, all those statistics right on community profile pages. A lot of people right now on their sites are adding community content, they have that additional information. So, again, it's a great segue into that. So I'm going to get into some examples now, just to give you an idea. I know I've talked a little bit about it, but I have an example up on the screen. And you'll see this is going to be a full implementation of lifestyle, with everything from drilling down into individual communities, showing listings, and also getting, this client has done a great job of building out pages for SEO benefit as well. And again, this is just one small thing that can be done with the application, but you'll notice what I as a user need to do is I can choose a state, and then I can choose a county or metro area as to where I want to search. And again, I just choose how important some of these things are to me. Schools are very important, mass transit's not important, and all of these things combine together. And once I click submit, the back end is going to kind of crunch some numbers and recommend, what are the top matches based on my criteria. I will say that, I think there's about 8 attributes up here, but, sometimes less might be better for certain clients. You might only want users to search on 2 or 3, depending on your area, if you're more local in nature as well. So again, that's just a preference of how you choose to implement the actual application. And you'll see when I click submit or search, a bunch of results are returned and they're ordered. So based on my criteria, Old Town was actually the top choice. Then there's another zip code, and there's actually, I apologize, this should be Old Town, Virginia. So that's just some implementation things that could be fixed easily. But so here in the results that it's telling you, okay, the top choice, or your top match is Old Town, but it doesn't have any mass transit. You can see what the mass transit availability is. The schools, how they rank compared to the zip code in Alexandria, and things like that. So again, kind of gives you insight into each individual area. And you'll see a button over here, you can view properties for sale. Again, that's that call to action, linking to listings to allow the user to then search for homes and reach out to the agent and things like that. And I will show the neighborhood landing pages just because I think this is a great benefit of some SEO, keeping users engaged on your site. They can look for information even past when they've already bought the house or sold the house. You're going to keep them coming back to the site by providing them with all this additional information. You can see that there's a quick write-up on Alexandria, and then I'm going to point out this just because this can be done actually on any site. So right here, what we have is the lifestyle ratings for Alexandria. And the application can actually, let's say you don't want to have that upfront search experience, you don't necessarily see the value in it, but what you can do is, if you have community pages or you even have specific listing pages, you could use the application to, for that town or that zip code or that neighborhood, pull back some of this information. How fun, hip, and trendy is it? What are the schools? Is it fresh air or is it more urban? So you can pull back this information without actually having to have that search first, which I think is pretty valuable as well. And again, just some information about the housing market. You can see some, featured listings that you might want to be able to put on your site as well. Here again, this is just another example of a client that's implemented. You can see pretty similar. There hasn't. I will show you one that has a bit of differentiation in a second, but you can see again some good. They have the results and they break out. You can view neighborhood details, and you can also view homes for sale, which is definitely important as well. Here is actually, I'm going to bring up the Better Homes and Garden implementation because they've done a little bit of a different approach. I mean, they're obviously a very lifestyle-oriented brokerage, so the way they've done it, I think, is very good. It's very eye-pleasing. It's good to search on, but you'll notice that they talk about defining your lifestyle. You can choose your location, and they kind of walk through how you can do that, right? So they've broken down family and community into some of these attributes, or arts and recreation. And again, you choose how important these things are. They could have chosen to put just 2 in each category, but they've chosen a little more. And then what they've done is they've done a map style implementation. You'll notice here that most of the results seem to be, based on the criteria that I submitted, are kind of centered around this part of the map, but there are a few outliers. But this way, it gives users a good idea of, okay, I'll say I work in Manhattan, and let me explore this town more because it's a little closer, or things like that. So a great implementation by them that they've done. So I just have talked about, I've showed some sample implementations, but I'm going to go quickly through delivery. There's our lifestyle API. We also have a lifestyle widget. Both of them, same concept. Our API is great for people who want to kind of create a unique experience. They want to have something different on their site, or they want to have control over how people are searching and really get a lot of the benefits, the SEO benefit and things like that. There's also a lifestyle widget, which is actually just a piece of code that you simply put up on your website. And it's very easy for clients to create their own small widget as well, without having, with being able to quickly develop against the API. And you'll see here is just actually the widget quickly. Again, you're choosing among 7 variables. You narrow down your search geography, and the results, we allow people to search or right on the map. It kind of shows you what the neighborhood is, what the surrounding area is, and then you can search in-depth for in-depth community info or school info as well. So just as a summary, I kind of went through a lot, but I think the key things here are, lifestyle search is not something that, it's not new. I think a lot of brokers and agents are finding relevance, and I know sometimes people say, well, my agents are the experts, and I want them to be, and we completely agree. I think this just enhances their relevancy. How can they keep people coming back to their site? It just has an extra added benefit. It doesn't take away anything from that they're being the expert. It's just an added tool that they can use as well. The great thing is that it integrates with existing sites. It's pretty easy to, just develop against and use on your site. And then also just to create IDX search as well. The listing search is very important, and it's pretty easy to integrate. And I think one of the key points is that, it's, in the fight for eyeballs, you want to make sure that you're creating new tools. You have things that are going to keep people coming back, not just pre-sale but post-sale as well. And that's some feedback that we've heard from a number of prospects is saying, we're looking to capture that person for a lifetime. We sell them a house or they buy a house, but how can we keep them coming back 5 years, 10 years down the line so that when they're ready to buy again, well, I don't need to go anywhere else. I'm going to stay here. Or, it just kind of also that type of, even though you may think your area, you may do a search and discover, oh, wow, I think, let me think about this town or look in this town. It could be a consideration. So there are many different ways to implement. But, you're also, it's not a templated out-of-the-box solution, so to speak. So, it's not a me-too solution, and you really can be a market leader in that respect. So I think, that's kind of covered a high level of our lifestyle search, and, I think what it can do for agents, what it can do for home buyers, because the ultimate goal is to have a home buyer come to your site, convert them to a lead, convert them to a sale, and it's just that process of capturing that up front and staying relevant. We would love to hear any feedback you might have on, not just actually our application, but, any feedback you might have in general on lifestyle search. We'd be more than happy to hear. If you do have any questions, I did mention at the beginning, there were some other people that joined. You can type them into the question box. We'd be more than happy to answer right now. I do appreciate everybody joining. If you want to continue to talk about this, we'd love to have you reach out to us at support@onboardinformatics.com, just to even talk about lifestyle or real estate search in general. So, not necessarily anything specific. We'd like to get feedback for, we'd love to hear from clients and prospects and just the market in general about what people are looking for and things like that. So I do have a couple questions. The first one, do you have to sign up for each webinar separately? Yes, unfortunately you do. We can send it out again to whoever's attended. We can send you that list, and we can have you guys sign up. That's more than doable. I also have another one. Do you have, or will you ever have, anything regarding crime? Very good question. We do actually have crime data that isn't in the lifestyle application itself right now, but we definitely have a crime index, and we break it down by individual categories as well. As to when it will be, if we might have a new attribute, I have a product roadmap of new attributes that we need to update, and it has come up, and it is one that we're considered. Obviously we need to keep that separate because some people want that on their site, and they want people to search for that, and then others, they kind of like to avoid it. So that's an excellent question. We have crime data, and we hope to add that at some point as well, just to give a more broad, a much broader search experience as well. Okay, so as I mentioned, here's some of the other upcoming webinars. I think with the wrap, we're trying to just kind of give our take on what we've heard from clients in the market on a number of different aspects. The next one, 7 ways you are missing the boat without neighborhood info on your website. We are a very big proponent of neighborhood data and having that, and there's a number of reasons why. So if you think that might, be pleasing or, entice you, please join. That will be next Thursday, same time. All of these are from 3 to 4 Eastern Standard Time. Again, that's all I have. We had one more question. Is the webinar going to be recorded and sent out to us? Yes, we are recording the webinar, and we can definitely send out to attendees, so that should work. How often is your lifestyle data updated? Okay, so that's another good question, actually. And we update it quarterly. A lot of the data, especially points of interest in school information, that changes regularly. So it's very important that we have the most up-to-date because, school performance can change from year to year, and we don't want to have old data. So it is updated quarterly, on a quarterly basis. And, again, our data team does a lot of processing, and they do a great job of that as well. Okay. Again, thank you. I appreciate everybody joining in. Again, you can reach out to us at follow-up discussion at marketing or the following number. Or, we also have some conversations on our blog. And I hope to see everybody next time. Thank you.